Agut in Erev Shabbos Rabo Isai. Welcome to the Armon Hotel here in Connecticut. A Shabbos of Achdus, a Shabbos of Chizuk. We all come together here to celebrate celebration of Torah, Mesechta that we finished together, Mesechtis that we finished together, a whole year of learning Torah. Last time we were here was over a year ago. It's been a phenomenal start, including the unbelievable spread that we had last night. A lot of people came, a lot more than last year. They did the Thursday night thing. Belia and Hara, we sold out. We're going to have a Shabbos of 850 people. Motzei Shabbos, we're at the capacity. Unfortunately, people are upset. There's a limit, 1,000-person limit, and that's it. There's literally hundreds more that wanted to come, and we had to turn people down. There might have been literally, I'm not exaggerating, maybe, you could ask Yossi, 100 people or more that wanted to come for Shabbos, but they waited for the last minute. They figured, Eli's hacking as usual. There's 25 rooms left. Yeah, sure. And then they got upset. What do you mean there's no room for me? I'll pay more, I'll do this. No. I don't mess around. I never exaggerate. That might be a little bit of an exaggeration. But we're here. It's Geschmack. And I want to say, I'm going to thank everybody. This is not the place really, but I want to thank the Olam. Here, Shimi Braun just came over to me and gave me this unbelievable gift. Handmade leather. You open it up. There's another handmade piece. And there's another. It's beautiful, beautiful. Check this out. Shimi Braun from Brooklyn Matzah Baker Factory. What else? Aaron Aronov. Castell. A Magnum, not Stam, a Magnum. And then we have a Rebbe from Cheder. Rebbe, you're checking out. I showed it yesterday. 2013 Castell. 2013. Rabbi said gifts are always welcome. Give them to my wife. But, as you know, and I'll say this again, and I mean it with my entire heart, the best gift you could get me is to bring another Yid to learn Torah. That's my goal in life, to bring one more Yid to Torah. And with that being said, one of the most phenomenal things happened this week. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. But if you combine all the Hebrew speakers and all the English speakers together, we're looking at more than 6,000 people that joined the shir this week. If the Hebrew speakers to bring more than 4,000, I think the English speakers to do just as well. We have more English speakers than the Hebrew. It has to do with the Ratzon and the amount of people that went crazy and said, we're going to put on their status. I know, I understand it's a new shir, and not every Israeli is familiar as the English, but we could do it, and we could still do it. It's not too late. We just started Sanhedrin. There are people out there that are chalishing to have a better life, and you could help them out. I'm not going to stop at 6,000. You tell me the 7,000, 8,000, adarabba. I mean, it sounds like a Guzman. Oh, Rabari, 6,000 people joined this year. It's crazy. In 1 week. I mean, the trick is to keep them. Of course, it doesn't hurt to have a guy like Fischel who pays $1,000 a person. Wherever he is. Let me show you some of the stuff here. There's preparations today, so you can be jealous if you're not here and want to kill your wife for not letting you come. I love that wall with the videos. So many videos of the shir, different parts of the shir. Here, they're putting it up right over there. Look at that. Unbelievable. Yossi. Okay. This is, by the way, we have a big schos of having Dov Harris here. He wasn't here last year. And Baruch Hashem, he came with Shimi Liefman. I mean, I'm walking the hallway. People came over to me just now as I was walking. We just flew in from Belgium, just for this. A bunch of people flew in from London. Here they are, from Belgium. A car full of Hasidim for Toronto. 8 hours it took them to drive her. 8 hours through the night. We have somebody from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Here he is, the doctor from Tulsa, Oklahoma. From Phoenix, Arizona. We have Fischel from Baltimore. It's unbelievable. Where are you from? Phoenix, Arizona. 3 years with the shear. 3 years. He brought his wife here on a honeymoon. This is their honeymoon, Rabbi side. So here's the shear in London, the Siyum in London, on a whole different level. They do before the Good Morning Rabbi side. That's it. Okay, but this is on a whole different level. The food there, we were there. I was like to be there to see him. A whole different level. Dove goes Meshuga. Look at the merch. This, that. Okay, here we have Cleveland Bezer Hashem. There's a beautiful thing here in this picture. He claims to be maybe the oldest member of MDY. He's 98 years old, young, right over here, and he does the shir every single day. I thought we had last week a guy that does the shir 3 times a day, and he's 96 years old, sharp mind. Here's a 98-year-old. He beat him. You know how it goes. Hey, I'm not even going to talk to you. Who are you? You're 96-year-older. You know, I was two grades above you in Cheder. Don't even talk to me. Rabbi Isai, you probably heard, MDY is a cult. You know, those guys, there's a few, the Yetzirah. There's a, no. I don't have time for it. It's because the guy doesn't have a beard. Those, it's a cult. Where did they get it from? From this picture right over here. Yalla. That's a picture of Stefansky. I'm not even there. Now you know, the Shaldige guys are on fire. Push it on fire. This, if you haven't seen, I mean, this is not a chiddush for us. I took some of this video together with Kobe. I said I'll keep the Israelis in the loop. They built a staircase, a model of the staircase of Eretz Yisrael. שנה הבאה בירושלים עיר הקודש. ממש, אותם מדרגות כמו המדרש. הכל. אלף אלוהים. הקודשבס. Okay. Fine. So we're holding the Dalet Amud Aleph, and let me just do the sponsors real quickly. We have 4 sponsors for the Masechta Bli Ayin Hara. Each one is a $9,000 sponsor. Refuah Shelaima for Yosef Chaim Shmuel Ben Alte Nechama from his grateful family. The Masechta is sponsored for Hatzlacha Berukhniyos ובגשמיות for an easy and healthy pregnancy and healthy baby. These people are in the room right now. By Larry Cohn in memory of Yechiel Moshe Ben Chaim Vieta, who started learning Daf Yomi at age 70 and continued for 32 years until he was nifter, until the age of 103. The Masechta is sponsored for the unity of the Jewish people. Wherever you are, I don't know, I don't see you, but if yesterday you're supposed to bring your baby in here, so if you're here still, I don't know where you are, go ahead. Remendel learners in the house. Gewaldig. You know, it's mamish. It's a family reunion. That's what it is, basically. Gewaldig. Refuat Sanhedrin go for Breina Bina bas Miriam baila or bracha bas Breina Bina Netanel Kalev ben or bracha. Parnas HaChodesh for fasting and complete Refuah Shelaima for Shmuel Nechemia ben Hinda. Parnas HaChodesh le'nishmas Silya bas Dvora. Parnas HaChodesh le'nishmas Binyamin Meir ben Zev David. I didn't see Robert early. Is he here? Anybody see him yet? Noch nicht. Parnas HaChodesh le'nishmas Chai ben Moshe le'nishmas Chai bas Yosef. Parnas HaShavua Yaakov Citron. You'll see him around with his little cameras, big camera. Excited to meet everyone at the Shabbaton. You could participate. He's trying to make videos, I guess. Oh, Reb Zalman, it's a big... They told me you're not coming. Yishkoyach and Phil. You went back? Is it Pinchas or Phil? Which one is it? Pinchas it is. Givaldik. Okay. Big schos to have Reb Zalman Twersky with us and Pinchas from Chicago. Representing Chicago. Joe Sharp. Yishkoyach to Reb Yossi Klein and everyone who planned, set up, and sponsored MDY Shabbos. It's not even... Thank you, Joe Sharp, for doing this. I mean, I'm going to talk about it, and everybody will be talking about it. But to understand that a human being gave up from his life without getting paid a single dime for keret. It cost him tens of thousands of dollars out of his own pocket. But he gave up hundreds and hundreds of hours. A dented is shalom bayis. We're not even going to talk about. Fafalin. That's what we can do. But he gave up of his life hundreds of hours so that we consider that's mamash chesed. For what? He calls it it's chaskes ha-Torah. He wants the olam to enjoy Torah. And that's why he said, he doesn't get anything. The Gunishkin covered, nothing. He's, I don't know where, he's not even here now. He's up the whole night. Rabbi said, each and every one of us has to go over to him and give him a yishkoyach and a kiss. Yishkoyach again to Rabbi Yossi Klein and everyone who planned, set up, and sponsored them. There's many, many people. I forgot his name. There's a guy, Oive, I can't believe I don't know his name. He came over to me once, he said, I'm very good at organizing these Shabbatons. So I took down his number and I gave it to Yossi Klein. The guy is here with his mishpacha. He worked. Where is he? Is he in the room? No. That's his name? What is his name? Yeah, Yeshua. Yeshua Petrukovsky. He's probably not in the room. Every single person in this room got a phone call from him. Yiduchap. He called every single person that signed up and went through where do you want to sit and what nusach do you daven and all the little details. You know what it means to speak to 850 women and men and okay. It's trust me, it's not easy. Basically, he did it as a volunteer, and we all owe him a tremendous hakaras hatoiv. And there's so many people like that, Mark Ashkenazi, and obviously I'm going to insult people by not. Yeshua Petrukovsky. Okay, we go weiter. Michal Ilyabeyev, Lili Nishmat, my father, on a 60-yard side, Shlomo ben Ima Shalom. The Kinnovations LLC in honor of official Gross. Where is he? Kinnovations. And his Rebbitzin. As well as Simcha Gross and his Rebbitzin. They should only have continued Atzlacha, Bracha, Barnos, Berevach, and Gesund. Amen. For his chos, for belly, and the whole MDY staff to continue to make Torah so enjoyable for so many. I don't know why. Every time we have one of these events, they always put me like, the merachik midal ramas from the olam. I feel like cold over here. I love the varkan. I love Nachman Seltzer zetzing me in the cup, spilling my water. It's geschmack over here. It's like, I don't know, where is he? I can't even touch you. You can come sit right in my seat. This is where you belong. Finally, the heart of the month for Schos, for Eli, and the whole MDY staff to continue to make Torah so enjoyable for so many. Yishkoyach, I think he's in the room somewhere. $5,000 a month and more. So thank you very much. Okay, so let's start. Says the Heilige Gemara, Daf Daled. It is Erev Shabbos. The Erev is not going anywhere. You don't have to put anything to prepare, but you still want to eat some toyamel. Trust me, it's good stuff. But be careful. Remember the halacha. Don't fill up too much. You got to leave a little room for that meal. You know what? I have everybody's attention here, some people's attention. At the meal, I'm going to say this again, but at the meal, we're going to hear from Reb Nachman Seltzer. It's a very, very hard job. You could ask Rabbi Ben Shushan. He tried it last year. He was successful, but he told me afterwards his voice went shot. So I'm asking the Olam now, if possible, first of all, complete silence while he speaks. I know it's impossible to ask people. We're going to ask all the waiters to leave the room. No clinking and clunking with the glasses and the silverware. But if possible, I'm asking everybody to pick up their chair and come to him. Let's circle him so that it'll make his life easier. We want to hear what he has to say. He's a phenomenal speaker, but let's make it a lot easier. I'm going to try to speak about it during the meal. Not everybody's here now, but those of us, if we all get up with the chairs, start moving, we'll make a commotion, what's going on, and then we'll make a matzah. Okay. Says the Gemara. Omer Rav Yitzchok bar Yosi, Omer Rabbi Yochanan, Rebbe Yehuda ben Royetz, Ubei Shammai, Reb Shimon, Reb Akiva, Kulu sfirlu yesh aim lamikro. We had yesterday this pasuk. Ad Elohim yavoy dvar shneihem. Elohim is referring to a dayin. You don't say Elohim. This is not referring to the Breina Bina. It's referring to a dayin. Asher yashiun Elohim. Elohim. How many? What does Elohim mean? One or two? Why? How do you know? I said yesterday. In Hebrew or English? Only 3 people were here yesterday. Givaldi. Elohim is one. But Yarshi'un is plural. It means 2. So the word Elohim is going to mean 2. But here's the problem. The problem is that the word Yarshi'un, if you take a look how it's written. If you take off the Nakudas, you take off the Melupam, whatever you want to call it, it's Yarshi'an. Yarshi'an. It's without a vav. Without a vav, the way it's written is called Yesh Aim L'Masayris. That's how tradition is. That's how we read. That's how we write it. The way you read it is completely different. That's called Yesh Aim L'Mikro. It's how you say it. Moshe Feinstein, I wouldn't say this, but I like to get into trouble, so I'm saying it, and it's Moshe. I could blame it on Moshe. Moshe says, what's the difference between Misnagdim and Chasidim? He says Chasidim, they go by Messiah. Yes, and why do you do this? It says in Shulchan Aruch not like that. You shouldn't do this. They tell you, what do they always say? That's what the Rebbe does. That's what my father did. Don't ask me questions. I don't want to hear about the Shulchan Aruch right now. I have a Messiah. Azay is. By that, Messiah is Messiah. You ask a Litvak, why do you do this? He says, Shtayt in Shulchan Aruch. But your father doesn't do that. He says, too bad of my father. Shulchan Aruch. What do you mean my father? My father is Amaris. He should have learned the Shulchan Aruch. He should go invite him. So that's the difference. Yeshem L'Mikra, Yeshem L'Messiahs. That's what he says. But upon him, it's hard to remember what the difference is between the two. So it was funny. I thought this is hilarious. I hope Yoshi is not watching right now because it's Shabbos in Israel. I hope he's Michael me for throwing him under the bus. But Yoshi said, listen, I got to do something special for Yeshem L'Mikra, Ve'em L'Messiahs, because it's something that I want to... Who's that? Is that Meir? Meir Dambi, you're here. Shalom Aleichem. Wow, I didn't know. Rabbi saying in your bags that you're going to get, a Geshmaka bag full of stuff, there's a brochure there from Amim. That's the, what is it called? Yeah, and Meir Dami is the one that facilitated the whole thing. And he's a big donor. And Shkoyach Meir, I used to play ball with him every single Friday. Great guy. I didn't know you're coming. Wow, surprise, surprise. So he said, I got to do something. Okay, fine. So he puts it together and he tells me, the reason why I want to do something, I want the oilam to remember what each one is. I have a hard time, I struggle remembering, is Ein L'Mikra the way you write it or the way you read it? I said, it's Mikra, the way you say it. I don't know this. So he sends it to me. And I look at it, I couldn't believe it. I'm not making this story up. He reversed them. After he's done, and he saw the sugin, he's looking inside, the article, not article, he reversed it. I said, it's great, but it's backwards. Okay, so now we have it straight. Yeshem L'Mikra is how you read it. Besukais, you add a vav, even though it doesn't say it in the Torah with a vav, and besukais means plural too. Yeshem L'Messiahs means it's the way it's written. Besukas, which is one. Before I go weiter, I got to tell you this. Because it was something that hit me very, very strong yesterday. This was 2 nights ago in Borough Park, a shir of 1,000 people, 1,000-person shir. Phenomenal. Mendy Auerbach was there. To see it, you can't believe such a thing. It was a tremendous chizuk, a tremendous hisrakshus. People were emotional to see this. All types of yidden in the middle of Borough Park was gewaldic. And I'm sure you saw this, but here's the full clip. Nachman, you got to see this. Nachman. You're watching over there. In the middle of the shir, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave me this idea. I thought it was a phenomenal idea. I asked them, be very quiet. My daughter-in-law said, how'd you get everybody to be quiet? I asked them. They were quiet. They played along with me. Look at this. It looks like I'm in a closet somewhere. Yeah? Here we go. רבו ישראל, תקשיבו, אני נמצא עכשיו בבורג פארק. אני יושב כאן לפני כמה אנשים, לא כל כך הרבה, ואני מוסר להם שיעור. וביקשתי מהם באמצע השיעור שיגידו משהו לכם. אז אני אגיד ככה. Erev Tov Raboisai. Wow. Tov. I never did anything like this in my life. Yeah, it's a little sugar for Magid Shit to get up and take out a cell phone, a non-kosher cell phone, or a kosher that has a sticker on the back, whatever. But you got to do what you got to do. Sometimes you have to come out of your comfort zone to make people enjoy Torah. But I had a tremendous deher I want to share with you. Tremendous. That morning, I sat in the worst place in the world to give a shiur, and that is in a basement in Far Rockaway. I sat in a basement in Far Rockaway. 0 people in front of me. 0. You understand what I'm talking about? I gave a shiur in Hebrew to 0. Not 1 cameraman. Mark Ashkenazi was on the phone, but in a different city. And I'm sitting and talking. It was dark, dreary, very uncomfortable. Nobody laughed at my jokes. Nobody told me whether the 3D is good or not good. Nothing. No artist. I didn't know how to say. I said headline as a headline. I couldn't say it in Hebrew. I couldn't come up with the word. And that night, I went from 0. I'm not making this up. You can't make it up. It's online. Look, there's a shiur with 0 people. And that night, I gave a shiur to 1,000 people. The same daf. From 0 to 1,000. And I just thought to myself, that's literally what Daf Yomi is. One day, it's the most enjoyable thing in the world. 1,000. And the next day, it's so bad. I can't. Get me out of this. But the daf goes on. It doesn't wait for you. If there's nobody there, you go, you do it. If there's 1,000 people, you go, you do it. This is uncomfortable, it's not uncomfortable. Sometimes it hurts, sometimes it's not hurt. Daf Yomi, mamish in a nutshell. The same guy. And I had the same story, literally, and I like to tell this to people all the time. I had the same story last year. There was 1,500 people in Borough Park last year. It was a bigger hall. It was in a terrace golden. They made a big stink about it. I flew back to Chicago the next morning, and I gave a shiur. 7 people showed up. 7 people. And that was also b'chesed because I made 6 phone calls. Anyway, I don't think Reb Zalman was there. I don't think Reb Pinchas was there. You remember that shiur? Wow, it was that bad. And we're not going to talk about whatever. Okay. But anyways, it's just a deher. Zok the Gemara. So anyway, the Gemara says like this. We're going to go through beautiful, that's the beauty of Shas, that we can go through different sugyas through Shas. Nothing to do with the Sanhedrin. We'll sprinkle more yediyas. We're familiar with this stuff. Again, Chazara. Rabbi Yochanan says the same thing, that ain't Yashem Lemikra. Rebbe says the same thing. Rabbi Yehuda ben Royet says the same thing. Beishamai, Reb Shimon, Reb Akiva, they all say the same thing. Says the Gemara, let's go one by one. Rebbe Yehuda Maran, we just said. Rebbe says the word is written Yarshi'ain, and we read it Yarshi'un. Rabbi Yehuda ben Royet, the San Yishalu Talmidim is Rabbi Yehuda ben Royet. This is mind-boggling. Ekra ani shivim. Look at this, Gevaldik. Look at this. Everybody that reads this pasuk knows that it's not shivim, it's shvuayim. You ask a kid in Cheder, shvuayim, what, shivim? Now what's going on here? The Gemara says maybe it should be 70. So real quickly, we're going to go through a crash course in Tum and Tahara. A woman who gives birth to a baby boy, she's tamei for 7 days. Mamish tuma, also to her husband, etc., etc. After the 7 days, midiraisa, she goes, toivel, she's completely tahar. No matter what happens to her, even if she sees dam, she's tahar 100% for 33 days, 33 freebies. We have 33 plus 7 equals how much? 40. If a woman gives birth to a girl, everything is double. She's tamei for 14 days, regardless dam, not dam. And then once the 14 days are over, mikvah, she's tahar for 66 days, no matter what happens, for a total of, over here we have 40, over here we have 80. The 7 is double to 14, the 33 is double to 66. The days from 40 to 80. Gevaldik. Ask the Talmidim, who told you that she's tummy for 14 days? It says in the cave, you're tummy for 14 days. Who said? It says Shvuayim. Who told you to read it Shvuayim? Maybe you don't know how to read. Maybe it should say Shivim. You're tummy for 70 days. And then you're tired for 66 days. So he tells them, leave the chart on for a second. Maybe 70. There are 33 days of tahara for a zachar. There are 66 days tahara for nekeva. When we said this 33, we doubled it up for a girl, you get 66. So too in the Tameh days, Bezachar v'nekeva kiflayim. Zachar is 7 days of Tumah, so therefore double in that is 14 and not 70. When they left, you know what that happens? Happened to me a bunch of times. Reb Chaim Kanievsky said, how come you don't have a beard? And this and that. As soon as I walked out, I should have told him this and that. Too bad, too late. But over here, he runs out the door. He says, stop. I made a mistake. Look, I didn't have to come up with this whole svara. There's a better thing. The what? What do you mean? So here you have a situation of yesh aim lemikra. It's the way you read it, not the way it's written. It might be written shivim, but you read it shvaim. That's how Klal Yisrael reads it, and Shalom Yisrael. The Gemara Nida Daf Amud Aleph says, why is it that a girl you're tummy for 14 days, but a boy you're only tummy for 7? Very interesting Gemara. Anybody remember? Not really. Okay, it's Geschmack. Says that when a woman gives birth, she swears she'll never have children. We want her to have charata. When she has a boy, so there's a bris, there's shalom zachar, there's pinyan ben, it's geschmack. She already has charata. She wants to have another kid. She wants to have another party. But a girl, you don't have the whole party. So we want her to have charata. So what do? We keep her away from her husband for 14 days. She's going to have charata gedola. And that charata, we double it up, we give her, that's the Gemara. This is not a sefer somewhere. This is a Gemara. So it says the Gemara, another gewaldige sugya. It goes like this. There's a mizbeach. Okay? There's 2 mizbeachs actually. One is the chitzoin, one is the pnimi. The pnimi is in the yellow line. We're going to talk about it later. That's in the heichal. The chitzoin is inside the azara, the famous mizbeach that most of the 95% of the korbanos go on is the mizbeach achitzoin, the famous one with the ramp. The other one doesn't have a ramp. The other one is a little square. It's not even very tall. It's 3 feet tall, let's say, and that's the mizbeach hazav, ktoires, pnimi, whatever you want to call it. The halacha is when you shecht an animal, there's 4 steps: shchita, kabbalah, you receive the blood. Hoylacha, you got to bring it to the mizbeach, and zrika, and you sprinkle the blood on the mizbeach. Rabbi said, I have to say akaras hatoiv, and everybody again has akaras hatoiv. To Morty in the back, he just walked in. He's sitting down. Stand up, Rabbi Morty, please. Do me a toiva. Stand up. Everything in this room, including your brochures, including the Daf Yomi, he wrote such beautiful letters there, such beautiful things. The art on the wall, all these things is Morty. He's a tremendous Talmid Chacham, a big Bal Kishrin, and you can read his Chachma in the thing. He came out that I just read it now. The MDY, Merkaz Daf Yomi, is Gematria Be'achtos, and also Eli Stefansky something. I don't know. Look at it. I'm not making it up. He said it. Ich weiß nicht what he said. Merkaz Daf Yomi it's together with Be'achtos, or Eli Stefansky. What? Merkaz Daf Yomi is Be'achtos. Yeah. You see, I told you my name is not Reb. Perfect. It works out, Givaldi. Okay. Anyways, there's a lot of Karas HaTovs here, and I know I'm going to miss somebody, but don't get insulted. That's how I am. And certainly don't get insulted when I don't know your name. Wow, it's terrible. I've been calling the same people the wrong names the whole day. But okay, Givaldi. So, you're supposed to sprinkle blood on 4 corners, let's say. Let's say he forgot to sprinkle the blood on 4 corners, he did it on 1. Yoitza, not yoitza, is the kapara. The sprinkle of the blood is what brings the kapara. That's why you bring this animal. So it says like this. All the karbanis that are what? Oyla, shlamim, atoida, asham. All these karbanis, you only did 1 sprinkle, keeper. It's good enough. Shenemar, v'dam zvachecha yishav peich. Yishav peich is singular. Now, it happens to be, I know that some people remember this because Shamshi Shlafrak sits next to me. And he always says, the southwest corner. How does he know it's the southwest corner? Because when we were learning the sugya, I brought this as a aid to remember. Southwest airline. So you remember, what's the number one airline in America? Southwest. It used to be, at least when I did this. And then I was thinking yesterday that Southwest reminds me a lot of MDY. Why? They do things very differently. Very differently. Well, it's just the stewardess, they always, they wear this, that, a certain suit. They come in with their shorts. No shaykhs. Every airline, they're very matter-of-fact. FAA says regulation, you fasten your seatbelt, and they make a chayzik out of it. They make jokes, they're laughing, the whole item's on the floor, no problem. Southwest, you don't get a ticket with a number on it, you sit wherever you want. Southwest. In Lamaisa, they're number one. With all that, number one. So you can remember, Southwest. Once you know Southwest, what's missing now? Northeast. So that's the other corner. Shnaim Shemarba. If you get the blood on the southwest corner, poof. So you get the two corners. And then on the northeast, you get the two corners. And that's enough for most karbanas. Here it is, like that. Southwest. Boom. Great. So here we go. You can see a bird's eye view. This is from the 3D guys. A nice spray over there. Gewaldig. Okay. If you notice, there's a red line. And throughout, we're going to get there very soon, sooner than you even can imagine. You're going to get the kachim. It's called above and below the red line. There's a red line. It's called chut sikra. That's where maybe they got the whole thing from, the red line. So it says like this. Chatos, you do these two zrikas on the corners, southwest and northeast. I don't think anybody in this room is going to forget, or anybody watching this, you're never going to forget Beli Neder. Bezer Hashem, the southwest corner. That's where you do the zrikas adam. And the other corner, the opposite one, the northeast. If you got one corner, you have a kapara. Where did Bishama get this? Karnois, Arekin Cheish. The way you read it, even though it says karnas, you read it karnois, plural. 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals 6. Arba lemitzvah u'shtayim la'akev. What's pshat? We only have 4 corners. How could the Torah say sprinkle 6 corners? There's only 4. So obviously the Torah meant to say 2 are a must. We want you to do 4. If possible, do 4. But at least get 2. Arba lemitzvah u'shtayim la'akev. We say karnois, karnas, harikan arba. 2 plus 1 plus 1 equals 4. You have 4. Shalish the mitzvah, v'achas la'akev. This tells us that 3 are lechatchila, but 1 is ma'akev. If you don't do this, you're in trouble. You got nothing. Now, I just want to point out here, because the Mesilas Shas, I didn't know what's flying, and then I saw the Rishonim talk about it, and the Agois V'Tzionim brings us. If you look at the Pesukim, it says, V'nosan al karnois, mizbach, karnois. All 3 of them say without a vav. The Gemara seems to understand that there's a vav in one of them. So it says over here on the side, the Rishonim talk about it, and it says ois ches. B'chol ha'chumoshim v'tikunim gam b'mesoyer karnas choser ksiv. I don't know what's going on here. He says in all the chumoshim it says it without a vav, but the Gemara had a different girsa. In their Sefer Torah it had a vav there. Okay, says the Gemara. So anyways, you see that they learn with the way you read it, not the way it's written. It's written without a vav, but we're saying it's 6 with a vav. So that's yesh aim le mikra. Reb Shimon the Sanyo shtayim chol chasam v'shlishis afilu tefach. Oh, that's the Gemara of Eimekulu Mitzvah. Yeah, it could be in the Hebrew shir that was by myself. I skipped who knows how many lines. Nobody told me. Nobody knows. Ve'Eimekulu Mitzvah. When you have 4 and there's only 4 corners, so that adds up perfectly. Maybe the Torah is telling you that you have to hit 4 corners. It says Gemara. Sorry. That the 4 are it's a good thing to do all four. But if you don't hit all four, no, you don't do any, it's not a big deal. But all four should be in the same category. Says the Gemara, kapara b'chdi lo yashkechon. So what are you telling me? That if you didn't hit any corner at all, you still get a kapara? That we never found in the Torah such a thing. Reb Shimon, and where do you see that Reb Shimon holds aim lemikra? It goes by the way you read it. There's a famous Gemara in Sukkah. Most of us, when we were kids, we learned Sukkah. It's Geshmaka Masechta. It says that in order to have a Sukkah that's kosher, all you need is 2 walls and a tefach. Which, every time we learn it, I have to say the famous Ari. The Arizal says that we always talk about a kiss from Hashem, but Shnayim Kilchosam Shlishis Tefach is a hug from Hashem. It resembles a hug. A hug has 1 wall, 2 walls, and a little bit of a wall, which is a hug, and that's a hug from Hashem. In Cheder, they used to teach us that it goes like this. You take the word sukkah, and you have the samach. The samach is 4 walls. Chaf is 3 walls. And the hey is shnayim, and the other one is even a tefach. So upon him, how does he know it? Because he holds Yechiel Moshe. It's not true. It's 3 plus 1, not 2 plus 1. But Michael, maybe there was machlokes. We go by the way it's written. So let's see the pasuk inside, so now we know where it's flying here. Here. The way it's written is without a vav, besukais, 2 of them are without a vav, and the third one is with a vav. And we're trying to get to this halacha right over here. 2 and 1 is with a tefach. What are you laughing at? It's not nice to make fun of absurdly like that. Huh? It's absurdly. He might surprise us. Come up to Shabbos. Nah, I don't think so. I asked him to, but I don't know. He didn't get back to me. So says the Gemara. Reb Shimon Sova Yechiel Mikro Rabbanon Savar Yechiel Moshe Besukois Harikan Arba 1 plus 1 plus 2 equals 4. Dachad Kro the Gufa, you have to take off 1 of the Sukkos for the actual halach of Sukkah. Pashul Utlas, you're left with 3. So you have 3 walls. But the halacha la Moshe Messinai tells us a special chiddush that the third wall, the final wall, doesn't have to be a full wall. It doesn't have to be 7 tefachim long. It can also be a tefach. It's the way you read it. How do you read these psukim? Here you go. Here's all the psukim. You have to read them. 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals 6. You have to take off 2 of them, which is 1 actually, but it's 2. 2 pop off. Now you're left with 4. Why do you pop off 2? Because you need to talk about the actual mitzvah in the Torah of a sukkah. So now you're left with 4 extra. So it's 4 walls. So then the halacha says you don't need 4, but 3 plus a tefach. Rebbe Akiva. Now how do you know? So that's the Yechiel Moshe. How do you know Rebbe Akiva holds Yechiel Moshe? That's how you Rebbe Akiva Omer. Minadar is dam shiyotzo mishnei meisim shmitam boil. We're going from halacha to halacha. It's gewaldic stuff, but we have to hurry up here. Here's Rabbi Yossi Klein in Tumas Oil. Oops, sorry.
So we got.
I don't know what happened. Oh, Tumas Oil. The guy Yossi Klein is tar. I don't know what's going on here. Oh, he's tar. But if he walks into a room that has a ceiling and inside the room there's a mace, he becomes tamei even without touching the mace. That's called Tumas Oil. So now, what happens if you have a guy sitting in a room, and the halacha is that it's not just a mace, but it's even a revius dam, like we'd make kiddush on a revius. If that much blood, because that's as much blood you need to sustain a human being, that's considered a hanefesh of a human being. So the halacha is if you have 1 revius dam from a mace, it's also metama, it makes tumas oil. What if it's half and half? Half a revius from mace Ruvain and half a revius from mace Shimon. No, where's the baby? Tzaddik. No. Says the Gemara. So this is what you do. You could, according to Rabbi Kiva, how do you know that two halves combine to be one and it does tumah boil? Shelema kol nafshois meis. Not nefesh is adam, ki adam hu nefesh. Meis singular lo yavoi. Shtei nefashois, nafshois, two nefashois, two dead people. Shtei nefashois v'shir echad. As long as they combine to be one mace, to be one shear of a revius, it's enough. So you go with the way you read it, nafshois, even though it's written without of. Rabban nafshaskiv. It says it's singular. Mascular Refuah by Yaakov Mikid the Leslie. Yishim Lemikro asks the Gemara Moedik Kasha. Is there anybody in the world that holds you don't go by the way you read it? I told Oilam yesterday we had a Balkaira. I have trauma from him. In Ramat Hanan, the Balkaira, every time because it was at the end of the Aliyah, whatever. That's how he used to do it. And it's a few times in the Torah, maybe twice, maybe more. I don't know how many times. 3 times. No, but there's the three. They're all 3 by the end of Aliyah. Okay, so b'chalei v'imoy. Everybody knows. Every kid knows that they're talking about basar b'chalav, not to cook meat with milk. Ask the Gemara who told you. Maybe it's sheleyma l'masayres. It's the way it's written, and it's chaylev. It's fat. It says Gemara Amris yesh aim lemikro. It's the way we say it in Cheder, the way our Rebbe taught us. It's chalev, basa b'chalav. It's not basa b'chalev. By the way, I couldn't believe this, but I happened to be flying Bezer Hashem to Park City to visit my daughter in Utah on Sunday night. Right after the thing, I'm going there. And so in Utah, she's doing kiruv over there. So there's a woman in charge, and she put out a flyer. Eli Stefansky is coming to Utah to give a shir. Now we expect 1.5 people there. A guy from Florida, I don't know who this guy is. He said, "Oh, I found out that you're going to be in Park City, Utah. I like to ski. Anyways, I already booked my flights. I'm coming to ski. I'm coming to hear the shir live." And I like this. So if there's other people out there that happen to be in Park City, it's an interesting weekend. It's a geschmacka weekend to go skiing. So, skiing. Maybe I'll go skiing. I didn't have that she lives there. Okay, whatever. If I'm there, what am I gonna? You can't. It's like, because Baruch Hu gave us slopes. She already lives in the number 1 destination in America. It's the largest ski resort in America. She already lives there. What am I going to do? Chaval, I forgot to bring my snowboard. Maybe my kids brought it. I don't know. Okay, fine. Okay. Where was I? I'm thinking about snowboarding now. Sponsors. Oh, where are the sponsors? Turn to the daf. Innovations LC in honor of my uncle Rabbi Cohn Pressman and Fischel. Should be schos vakiv simrim ben fego. A shidduch. I always wanted to do this. And Fischel. Fischel, how you doing? So say that down there. Schos vakiv simrim ben fego, who happens to be in the hotel now, and a shidduch for Rivki Yudas Bas Yafachaya. I think she's in the hotel. A huge thank you to Rabbi Stefansky's in the hotel right now. Plus all the brachas, they're in the hotel right now. Donnie Fine and Robert, instead of Elite Israel Realty, not in the hotel, welcoming all the new Olim, proudly standing with you on your journey into finishing Shas together. Our boys, here we go. We have another 7 minutes. Bezer Hashem, we'll finish this almost. El de Kulama Yeshim Lemikro says the Gemara, because we have this Moedik Kasha about Basa B'chol. Everybody knows this Basa B'chol, so everybody goes by the way you read it. So everybody agrees that Yeshim Lemikro, nobody argues on it. So what's the machlokes between Rebbe Rabbanon, whether a bezin is 3 or bezin is 5? That's how we started off the shir. They were arguing the word Yarshi'un. Is it plural, not plural? The way you read it, the way you write it. So if we go back to this pasuk, where's that pasuk? Here we go. It says Elohim twice in the pasuk. So is Yarshi'un Elohim, the 2 dayarim on the bottom, are they connected to the on top or not? If you say they're not connected, so it's 2 plus 2. In one pasuk, it's 2 plus 2 equals 4. How do we get to 5? Ein bezin shakel. Very good. You can't have an equal bezdin, because what if 2 say yes and 2 say no? Now you're stuck. You have a hung bezdin. By the way, next to you, where are you from in Texas? Did anybody ever hear of Corpus Christi, Texas? 3.5 people. You're all. How do you know this stuff? We have a guy from Corpus Christi. What? Famous? Oh, it's a famous college football team. That's why I don't know. Okay. There's a minion of Jews there? You have a Chabad there. And they do the daf over there? You're the only guy that does the daf there. How long have you been doing the daf with us? Since Yavama. Unbelievable. Wow. Corpus Christi, Texas. You came with your wife, right? Yeah. Unbelievable. Huh? Yeah, maybe Paris Chaim Levine could drum up some business. Stand there by the college football as they go into the stadium over there. No, there you see this thing right over here. It's all the same. Elohim on top, Elohim in the bottom is the same two people that we're talking about. It's not four people. Remember, Rabbi Yehuda ben Royetz had the Talmidim that said, "Who told you that a woman is tamei for shvuayim, for 2 weeks? Maybe it's shivim, it's 70." Says the Gemara, don't worry about it. Everybody holds Yishem Lemikra. There's no machlokes b'chlal. Nobody's arguing with him. Everybody holds it's only 2 weeks. Rabbi Yehuda ben Royetz lepligi Rabban Alte. Beisil, how do you know? Everybody is going to hold Yishem Lemikra at this point of the sugya. Beisil Sanyo v'chiper mipnei adin. We're talking about Zrika again. Zrika, it says 3 times v'chiper. And why does the Torah have to say 3 times? Because you could come up with some sort of halacha that is not exactly like that. Now what? Because I could have some sort of kavachomer, some sort of limud. Nemar domim lemato v'nemar domim lemalo. There's 2 pshatim in Rashi. We'll go with the other pshat because that seems to be the way that they go with. There's blood above the red line and blood below the red line, above and below the chut hasikra. There's 2. The Gemara says I could learn one above the red line from below the red line, or I could learn from this mizbeach to the mizbeach inside the heichal. But what's better? What's easier to learn from? The same mizbeach above the red and below the red, or one mizbeach to the other mizbeach? So what does that mean? Let's see inside. Nemar dam lemata, when you shecht a chatas bird, you spray the blood below the red line. V'nemar dam lemala, and you take the blood of the chatas and you put it on the 4 corners. You see there's a corner here on the mizbeach, right over here on top, on these corners, the top, mamish over here. On those corners, all 4 corners. As we saw in the pasuk, it says Yishapech, loshen singular, Yishapech. So by mistake, I only got 1 corner. Am yoitza. Above the red line, if I by mistake only did, or on purpose, I only did 1 corner instead of 4. Or maybe I could learn it differently. So this mizbech that we're looking at right here is called the mizbech ha-chitzoin. There's a mizbech ha-pnimi. This is what it looks like. Rabbi said, this I built myself back in the day. I had a lot of time in my hands. I built this, spray painted it with gold. Some shugana went and threw it out in the garbage. I'm serious. I don't know why. I'm a little upset. I could have used this. But I built a little, it was basically modeled after the measurements in the Gemara, but you're not allowed to do that exactly, so I did it a little off. And I went over here, and you could see this in the lobby. This is inside the heichal. This is where you do the ketores on top. Over here, you do the ketores. I'll just continue learning. He takes this blood. You know what? Maybe and he smears it. He doesn't sprinkle it like the other blood. This is a smearing process. Let's watch this. It looks interesting to me. I don't remember a word of this. Says the Mishnah, he goes from top to bottom. By the way, that was real blood, and then I ate the blood, and everybody threw up. But then I told them it wasn't real blood. I made it at home. Gross. I smell it. I pretend. You go like this. Oh, it's going to be geschmack. Look at this. Unbelievable. Can't wait for kachim. Wow. And yuma right on the and all this stuff. Okay. Okay. Givaldik. Thank you. It's unbelievable. One of my favorites. Yuma's my favorite. So says the Gemara, this blood that I just showed you, that you put it on inside the heichal, if you do that, you miss 1. It's garbage. You got to start all over again. Shecht another animal. The special animals that you do inside, the parel madavar, the kohen mashiach, different, especially in Kippur. 99% of the animals during the year are on the outer one, the one with the ramp. But here's a very chomer halach: if you miss The matana, you got to start over. So now we have a shiloh. Where am I going to learn from? Bottom to top? Or inside to outside? Or outside to inside? Near limidaima, what is it more similar to? Donam chutz mechutz. Let's just learn from one mizbeach that's the same. Donam chutz mifnim, but you cannot learn one mizbeach to the other. Or klachal derzu. Donam chatas v'arba kronis b'chatas v'arba kronis. No, the mizbeach hapnimi is a chatos, and the mizbeach the chitzon is chatos. Well, you're going to learn from different animals, different karbonis, oshim and toida. The chatas doesn't work. And that's why v'chiper. It says 3 times v'chiper b'nei adin to teach us this halach. That what? Chiper. Why does it say it one time? Even if you missed 1 out of 4, you get a kapara. The second time it says in the Torah to tell us if you miss 2 out of the 4, you get a kapara. And the third time to teach us down to 1. Each one tells us another one that you can miss. You still get a kapara. So we just came up with a whole theory that everybody agrees that sheleyma l'mikra. So what's pshat in the machlekes between Reb Shimon and Rabbanon that we had before? And we explained it away that the machlekes is whether or not yeshem l'mikra or yeshem l'masayres. No, everybody always is yeshem l'mikra. Reb Shimon and Rabbanon b'al pligi. Reb Shimon sovas chachal le'bayikra. Remember, we discussed in Sukkah. It says b'sukkos with a vav, without a vav, yeshem l'mikra, yeshem l'masayres. Da da da. No. Everybody always yeshem l'mikra. It's the way you read it. So how many do we have total? 6. Sukkos, 6. Shlomo Lazar is in the home. Shlomo Aleichem. By the way, seriously, I'm not joking. Mishpacha, I'm talking about Mishpacha. Shlomo Lazar made a siyum in Los Angeles, got on a plane, and didn't even spend 1 minute there, maybe a minute. He said hello, goodbye, got the plane. That's a guy that does things Hashem Shemaim. Paid for everything with his own pocket, and disappeared. I have to say, Yishkoch to Kashnuda also, Beis Hashem. Los Angeles is going to be as big as Manchester one day. Bezrat Hashem. Zok the Gemara. So if I have 6, now I'm stuck with it's actually 4 because I need one for the sukkah itself. But I don't need a pasuk to teach us about schach, so I'm left with 4. I have 4 walls. What do I do? One of the 4 could be a tefach, so it's 3 plus 1. And Rabbanan Savar schach habayikra. So I have 4. Take 1 pasuk off. 4 schach. I'm left with 3. 3 plus 1 is a good sukkah. That's all machlokes. Not if yeshim in the mikra, yeshim in the source. Rabbi Kiva Rabbanon b'pligi. Rabbi Kiva Rabbanon argue. Rabbi Kiva sover naf shoyis tarti mashma. Could I combine 2 bloods from 2 mesim and make it 1 revius? The word naf shoyis seems like 2. Rabbanon savri nafas shoyis da alma mashma. It's not referring to 2 mesim. It's talking about all the dead people of the world. What everybody holds. That I go with the way you read it. I like to say this all the time, every time we talk about tefillin. Think about it, it's a fascinating thing. When they went to Ethiopia, after not being there for at least 1,000 years, there's nobody has ever seen an Ethiopian Jew for at least 1,000 years, right? Maybe 1,500. Since Churban Abayis, they disappeared to Ethiopia. They show up there. What did their tefillin look like? It doesn't say anything in the Torah about tefillin. It says, it doesn't say it's square, it doesn't say it's black, it doesn't say ritzuas, it doesn't say 4 parashas, 1 parasha, it's split like this. You get there and you cannot believe your eyes. It's identical to the tefillin that we have today in Europe. What happened in 1,500 years? 1,500 years. So that's how Messiah went from dar to dar. And the Torah says, tefes, tefillin, tefes, phylacteries, whatever it's called in English. What? Phylacteries? No, that's already guzma. Phylacteries, okay. You guys argue it together. In New York, they call it phylacteries, okay, whatever. Tetefes. Harikan arba. 1 is tetefes, another tetefes, and tetefes is total of 4. Divrei Rabbi Shmuel. So if we pause right here, what does Rabbi Shmuel hold? He holds that I go by the way it's written in the Torah. It says tetefes. I read it tetefes. Nobody reads tetefes. But Rabbi Shmuel says, no, I go by the way it's written. The way it's written, how did Yoshi do it? The way it's written is called Yesh Aim L'Mesiris. So what do you tell me? Everybody agrees Yesh Aim L'Mikra. Here's a mandama that says Yesh Aim L'Mesiris. So says the Gemara. Harikan Arba, the Rabbi Shmuel. Okay, so we're going to pause right over there, and we have a mandama that says Yesh Aim L'Mesiris. Okay, whatever Rabbi Kiva says, he holds I don't have to come on to that. There's a place that they have a language, and they call Tat 2, and they call Pas Ba'Afriki Stein. When you go on a safari, Beis Hashem with Mendy Oyerbach, he's going to take the whole oilam on a safari this coming year. All the G'dolei HaMisnadvim of MDY, the Chaverseyim. In Africa, they call Pas is 2. Well, but the point is, Rabbi Shmuel, he holds Yeshem L'Masaris. Elo Elam Pligi. No. Okay, so we're going back to where we came from. There is a machlokes whether Yeshem L'Mikra or Yeshem L'Masaris. V'animiliki Pligi. But when is the machlokes? Hechad the Shani Krolim B'Masaris. When there's a difference between the Masaris and the Mikra. In other words, if I have to add a vav, like in Sukkos, I have to add a vav, then we have a big machlokes. Could I do it or not? Aval Hai. What was your whole question about Basar B'Chalav? It says Chalav or Chalev. You're not adding any letters. It's the same for 3 letters. Ches, Lam, and Beis. You could either read it Chalav, you could write it Chalav. Yeshem L'Mikra. Then everybody agrees it's the way you read it. Ask the Gemara, Varei Yira and Yira. I have a word with 4 letters, and you're not adding any vav over here. Upligi, and there's machlokes. How do you do it? How you read it? The sanya, and it's not obvious that's the Yeshim L'Mikra, like by Chalav and Chalav. Over here we do have machlokes. The sanya Yochim ben Avoyomer. Mishum Rabbi Ben Chaim. This is a tremendous chiddush, Rabbi Yosef. Another chiddush. A guy who's blind in one eye can see perfectly well. He drives. He has his driver's license. He drives. Everything is great. Is he mechuyev to do aliyah l'regel? The answer is no. Why? Because he's blind in one eye. So, hasum b'bachas meinov potter min ariyah. He's potter from doing aliyah l'regel. Shenemar yireh yirah. B'kederech shabal lirois. Very interesting. We're talking about HaKadosh Baruch Hu here. The same way that HaKadosh Baruch Hu comes to see, so to speak, kaviyachol, kach ba lirois. That's how Hashem wants to be seen. Ma lirois b'shtei einov. HaKadosh Baruch Hu comes with both eyes. In other words, he's complete, he's whole. He has no chesaron. He has his 2 eyes, kaviyachol should be kaviyachol. Af lirois b'shtei einov. So too, when he's being seen, you need to see him with your 2 eyes. The Chassidim like to say, why does a person have 2 eyes? One is to see the godless of the Rebbeinu Shalom, and the other one is to see the shiftless of the person, how low you really are. One is to see how great HaKadosh Baruch Hu is, and one is to see yourself, how low you really are. The famous Maisa with the Nazi, yeah? The guy's there, and the Nazi says, you know what, I'll make a deal with you. If you could guess which one of my eyes is fake, I'll let you go. So he says, that one. The Nazi says, how do you know? He says, how do I know? That has more humanity in that fake eye than the other eye. So, Zok the Gemara, El Omer Rav Acha. But if we're going to go back, where's our big question? It's from Chaylev and Chalav, Shalom Aleichem, Reb Noam, Shalom Aleichem. How do I know? We're mamish done, but it's good. It's better to learn one word, come in and disturb the whole shir and learn one word, than not to learn anything at all. I hope this is not your only learning today. Hello, Rav Achaber and Ravika. Omakro li sevashel gdi derech bishul asra Torah. That what? At least you came to see Ramsey. I don't even know who he is, but they told me he's famous. Bemis. I'm sure my wife, your wife, knows about this guy.
Right, the guide to cooking a perfect steak. Hot pan.
How do you make a perfect
Pan's just
steak, says
smoking.
Ramsey?
Touch of oil in, roll that round, and then just lay the steaks away. Always away.
Roll around the town, it's kosher. And we will never, never, ever eat no candy together. So join us and sing the kosher song. La 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 la.
Uncle Moshe says it's not a good idea to make your steak in milk, but that's called bishul. You saw the milk is boiling. You take the steak, you put it in the bishul of milk. Now, take this guy for instance. This is chalev. This is geschmack
So
also.
we got the kidney fat
I don't know.
and
Is
the
this guy
organs
famous also or
back
no?
from the cow.
Anybody? Is he fat? Is he famous? This chef? You take the fat. This mamish looks geschmack. No, can't think of anything grosser.
The kidney
This is
fat
what pacha is. Oh,
the best fat
I think I
on
just
the
insulted
cow
all the Hasidim.
That is quite mild and
Anyway,
compared
the point is,
to
says
the
Rashi,
fat, and it's the
when you
perfect fat.
cook something in fat, that's not
This
cooking.
is
That's
gold
called
fat because we use it for
frying.
deep frying, for normal
You
frying.
fry in oil, you fry in fat. You cook in milk. And that's what the Torah says. As soon as the Torah says bishul, I know right away that's not chaylev. It must be chalav. Rabbi Isai, enjoy this amazing Shabbos. Have a wonderful Shabbos. I'll see you in a little bit.